Welcome back to Hub Horror on Entertainment Hub, where we dive into the darkest corners of media, mythology, and everything that goes bump in the night. Today, we're exploring the sprawling, terrifying, and endlessly creative world of SCP, the Internet's collaborative monster manual. From humble beginnings to a cultural phenomenon, SCP has become a cornerstone of modern horror, blending the uncanny with the unknowable. But how did it all begin? And how has it evolved into the cultural juggernaut it is today? Let's break it down. The story of SCP begins in the unlikeliest of places, the depths of 4chan's X board, the forum dedicated to all things paranormal and supernatural. In 2007, an anonymous user posted a short, eerie piece of fiction. The subject, SCP-173, a grotesque humanoid statue that only moves when it's not being observed. If you blink or even look away, it will snap your neck in an instant. What set SCP-173 apart from other creepypasta-style stories of the time was its presentation. The entry wasn't written like a traditional horror story. Instead, it mimicked the clinical style of a government document, complete with containment procedures, classifications, and descriptions of the entity's anomalous properties. This format, along with the chilling imagery of SCP-173, struck a chord with readers. It felt different, almost surreal. The story implied the existence of a shadowy organization, the SCP Foundation, tasked with capturing and containing these anomalous creatures, objects, and phenomena. The internet loves mysteries, and soon, others began contributing to the lore, expanding the Foundation's database with their own SCP entries. What started as a single post on a niche forum had transformed into a collaborative storytelling experiment. The SCP Foundation moved beyond 4chan and found a permanent home on its own dedicated wiki, where the creative floodgates truly opened. Writers from all over the world began submitting their own SCP entries, each adding a new layer to this shared universe. The Foundation's lore grew richer and more complex, establishing rules and classifications for its SCPs. These classifications range from safe entities that pose no immediate threat to Keter, anomalies that are nearly impossible to contain and could lead to catastrophic consequences. What makes the SCP Foundation unique isn't just its content, it's the way that content is created. Unlike traditional horror, where a single author controls the narrative, SCP is a collaborative effort. Writers submit entries to the wiki, where they are subject to peer review and voting by the community. The best entries are upvoted, while weaker ones may be deleted altogether. This process ensures that only the most engaging, well-written, and terrifying stories make it into the Foundation's ever-expanding database. But let's talk about the horror itself. SCP isn't limited to monsters or creatures. It thrives on variety, exploring every corner of the uncanny and the inexplicable. For example, SCP-682, nicknamed the hard-to-destroy reptile, is a massive, indestructible creature fueled by hatred for all life. It's been the subject of countless failed termination attempts, each more elaborate than the last. Then there's SCP-096, known as the Shy Guy, a humanoid entity that becomes uncontrollably violent if anyone views its face. These entries combine fear of the unknown with grotesque imagery, creating a potent mix of terror. But SCP isn't just about fear. Many entries delve into philosophical or existential horror. Take SCP-3001, also called the Red Reality. It's a dimension of infinite emptiness, where a man is trapped after a containment breach. The story unfolds through logs, chronicling his slow descent into madness as he's cut off from time, space, and other people. It's haunting, not because of gore or monsters, but because it taps into a primal fear, isolation. Then there's SCP-231, one of the most infamous entries in the Foundation's history. This SCP involves a woman, designated SCP-317, who must undergo a brutal and ambiguous containment procedure to prevent the birth of a world-ending entity. The details of the procedure are redacted, leaving it to the reader's imagination. This ambiguity makes the entry even more disturbing, as fans speculate on what horrors are hidden in those black bars of censorship. As the SCP Foundation grew, so did its influence. It wasn't long before the Foundation began crossing over into other forms of media. Video games like SCP Containment Breach brought the Foundation to life, placing players inside a facility during a catastrophic containment failure. The game featured iconic SCPs like 173 and 096, allowing players to experience their horrors firsthand. What made the game so effective was its randomness. Every playthrough was different, with SCPs appearing unexpectedly, creating a sense of paranoia and tension. Beyond gaming, SCP has inspired short films, web series, and even music. Channels like SCP Animated and the Exploring series have brought these stories to life on YouTube, reaching millions of viewers. These adaptations not only expand the audience, but also highlight the creative potential of the SCP universe. The SCP community itself has become a breeding ground for emerging talent, with many writers using the wiki as a launchpad for their careers in horror and speculative fiction. But the influence of SCP isn't limited to the internet. Its themes have seeped into mainstream media as well. The idea of a shadowy organization containing supernatural threats has been echoed in shows like The X-Files, Fringe, and even Control, a video game heavily inspired by the SCP Foundation. The Foundation's clinical, procedural approach to horror has also influenced the way other horror stories are told, blending the mundane with the terrifying to create a sense of authenticity. What's fascinating about SCP is its ability to adapt and evolve. The Foundation's universe is vast and ever-changing. With new entries constantly being added, writers have introduced complex narratives, recurring characters, and even overarching story arcs. For example, the Broken God mythos explores the idea of a mechanical deity shattered into pieces, with various factions attempting to reconstruct it for their own purposes. This storyline weaves through multiple SCP entries, creating a sense of continuity and depth. The SCP community has also embraced innovation, experimenting with different formats and storytelling techniques. Some entries are written as transcripts, while others mimic scientific journals, police reports, or even children's books. This variety keeps the Foundation fresh and engaging, appealing to readers with different tastes and interests. However, SCP ain't without its controversies. The community has faced challenges, from disputes over copyright to disagreements about the direction of the Foundation's lore. One of the most significant controversies involved a Russian trademark dispute, where a third party attempted to claim ownership of the SCP brand. The community rallied together, launching a successful legal campaign to protect the Foundation's integrity. Despite these challenges, SCP continues to thrive, thanks to its dedicated fan base and the endless creativity of its contributors. It's a testament to the power of collaborative storytelling, showing what's possible when people come together to build something greater than the sum of its parts. SCP is more than just a collection of horror stories. It's a cultural phenomenon, a living document that evolves with each new entry. It's a reminder that horror isn't just about scaring people. It's about exploring the unknown, challenging our perceptions, and asking the big questions about life, death, and the universe. So, whether you're a longtime fan or a newcomer, the SCP Foundation has something for everyone. It's a treasure trove of creativity, a playground for the imagination, and, above all, a celebration of what makes horror truly great: its ability to make us think, feel, and shudder in equal measure. This is the horror of SCP, and it's only just beginning. Thanks for watching Hub Horror. Be sure to like, subscribe, and let us know your favorite SCP in the comments. Until next time, stay curious and stay scared.